Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Big Con Heist guide. In this video I'll be showing you how you can get away with all your loot without alerting the cops as well as taking any damage. Thus also meaning you won't lose any value of your stolen goods. First of course we want to be looking into what our crew is going to look like. The gunman you want to be picking is Carl, which is only a 5% cut. The main reason for this is pretty simple. You don't actually need any guns. Secondly is the driver, which will be taking Kareem for. He only takes 5% and he has the option for some very nice cars such as the Sentinel Classic, which we will be using. And thirdly is the hacker. Now the hacker is something you want to be taking Avi Schwartzman for, or Page if you don't have him. If you want to unlock Avi Schwartzman, you need to collect all 50 signal jammers. Now luckily for you, I do have a guide on this, which I will link in the eye in the sky in the top right of the video, which will guide you to a guide that I have done on it so you can collect all 50. This won't be taking longer than an hour or two, and you'll be able to have even more time inside of the vault, which is going to be very vital. More on that a little bit later. So once you pick your crew, it's time to go and do the prep missions. Now, a couple of important things. If you want to do these prep missions as quick and as effective as possible, having another friend with you will be extremely beneficial and will make your life a lot easier. Having said that though, if you don't have this, playing all these prep missions solo is entirely possible. You don't actually need another person, it's just a lot more convenient. The only time you're actually going to need someone in order to progress is going to be during the finale. For the very simple reason that if you don't have another player, you won't even be able to start the finale. So with that in mind, the footage you're going to see has been played with 2 players in mind. The only difference that you're going to experience doing this solo is that sometimes you're going to have to go back and forth twice in order to get all the collectibles. Like for example with the getaway vehicles, because you're going to have to collect 2. And yes, you are able to do all this stuff in private sessions. You don't have to be in public sessions in order to do both the prep missions and the finale. So that's a very nice thing about this heist. Alright, so let's get into the prep missions themselves and the tips I have for them. First up, I'm going to list these prep missions where I don't feel you need any tips for because they're pretty straightforward. These are the following prep missions. This is the Group of Zex gear, the vault drills, and the news gear. These 3 setups are very straightforward. It's just go here, pick up this, kill that, and bring it back to the base. Now there's also 3 optional missions that you don't have to do at all, which are the masks, the young ancestor, and the power drills. Not to be confused with the vault drills, because the vault drill is going to be mandatory. Now the prep missions where I can give you some tips on are the following. First of all, unmarked weapons. On unmarked weapons, if you're selecting that mission, you need to pay attention to what weapon you're selecting. For example, if you're choosing Carl, you have 2 different options of what weapon you would want to use in case stuff goes bad, which is the micro SMG and the sawn-off shotgun. Now, to be very blunt with you, the sawn-off shotgun sucks. If you're using a sawn-off shotgun, you might as well be using rubber bullets, it will be doing just as much damage. So while you're selecting the mission, make sure that you're hovering over the micro SMG loadout and select that mission. If you select the sawn-off shotgun mission, you will be getting that during the heist, and you probably will cry a little bit. And the same thing goes for the getaway vehicles if you pick Kareem, because there's 4 different options that you can choose. The best option for you is going to be the Sentinel Classic. Once you have picked up the Sentinel Classic or any of the other getaway vehicles and delivered it to your arcade, what you want to do is you want to get into the vehicle and then press the right D-pad on console or E on PC. Then you will see a menu which will allow you to upgrade the car. Now what you want to do there is upgrade it to level 3. You could also decide to just go for level 1, which is definitely the bare minimum, but the difference is like 15k, and honestly for the 15 extra k you're going to get more speed and you're going to be able to just deliver your stuff quicker and start the next heist quicker as well. But it's entirely up to you. I would highly advise you though to at least get the bulletproof tires at level 1. It's going to be a lifesaver. And if you want, you could make your life a little bit easier by respraying the car as well, so you can recognize which car you want to use. Because if you were going to be doing a 2-player scenario, what you want to do is you want to only upgrade that one car, and specifically the green one I mentioned. Reason being is pretty simple. The green Sentinel Classic on the back of the car has some protection protection, which means that if you do get into a messy situation, the chances of you getting shot from behind and losing value are a lot smaller. The other car does not have this, and this is the precise reason why you're only going to be upgrading this car, and while you're doing the finale, both of you will be getting in that car and simply just ignoring the other car because first of all, you didn't upgrade it, and second of all, driving with two cars is just asking for trouble. Next up is the hacking device, which is a pretty basic mission. All you need to do is you need to go to the location, find the target, kill him, and then get the pass for him where you can then access the news headquarters. Now, personally, I've tried many times to do this stealthily, but it just always seems to happen that they spot you and you get cops on you anyway, so personally I'd say don't really bother. So when you do get cops on you, it really is just a better idea to just immediately go to the news headquarters. It will save you a bunch of time, and on your way there you should be able to lose cops pretty easily. Pro tip, by the way, since Lester is not going to work in these prep missions, the easiest way to really lose cops is either by going into the sewers or just simply going as high up in the air as you can. If you have an Oppressor Mark II like myself, it's very easy to just go very high up and then parachute down if you want to go down very quickly. Once you reach the news headquarters, you just simply want to head in and try to stay as stealthy as possible. It really makes your life a lot easier, and it's not that hard to avoid all the people that are looking out for you. In order to find the hacking device, you need to open your phone and then go to the bottom right where you'll be using the Sightseer app. The closer you get to the hacking device, the stronger the signal will get, and it's just a matter of finding the hacking device while avoiding all the targets and all the cameras. And of course you are able to shoot down cameras and personnel with suppressed weapons. Next up is the vault keys. Now the vault keys, there's multiple different ways of how this mission is going to play out in terms of what kind of scenarios, which is the same thing with all the other prep missions, but this one in particular I want to highlight, which is the one where you have to go and get the prison bus. Now luckily for you, you don't actually have to get the prison bus, which will save you a vast amount of time. What you can do is you can immediately go to the prison and then take out the target. Now the unfortunate part about this is that you're going to be having some very heavy cop resistance, so grabbing a sniper to snipe the target from afar or using an RPG or a buzzer to take down the target with one shot is just something that is really worth considering, especially because there is a lot of heavy snipers on the towers which will tear you to shreds if you don't watch out. So that's another pro tip for you. If you're going towards that tower, watch out for any of the other guards. They will shoot you down, and as soon as you're dead, you're gonna have a very difficult time trying to get back into that prison because there will be a constant 4-star wanted level on you. It's not fun, and I speak from experience, so try to get in, get out as quick as possible. If you happen to die or you don't really have anything to get you up the tower right away, right here is a door where you can go through, and then you can go up the ladder and still get to that bodyguard you just shot down. Next up, we're going to be diving into optional prep work. First up is the patrol routes. Now the patrol routes is a very important one to do if you want to be very successful with your finale heist. Reason being is that if you do the patrol heist optional mission, you'll be able to see where exactly the guards are going and where they're located while doing the finale. Really useful. Now this prep work is always in a different location, however the car that you need to search is always the same and always has the same license plate as well, which means that if you're looking in the location that I'm in right now, the car will also still be in the same location at all times. It is possible to do this mission stealthy, however in my case it was a little bit weird how I was just opening the trunk and it probably heard that sound and then it was over and it started shooting at me. But in case you do want to try and do this stealthy, I'm showing you two routes which I think are the best ways to go about this one. Although I have to admit that I personally think that going in loud and quick is probably much better than just trying to do it stealth. Do be careful with explosives though that you don't blow up the car, or else you're gonna have to start over with the mission. Next up is the Duggan shipments, which is arguably the most important one of all the prep work. The reason for that is because if you happen to do this one, you will be reducing the health of your finale enemies. Having said that though, it's not entirely necessary to do this mission because if you're going full stealth, you don't have to shoot any enemies. So if you're not convinced about your stealth abilities or you don't really want to reset every time you get spotted, then this would be something worth considering to do. Taking out all the 10 targets in this prep mission will basically make these enemies that you're going to be shooting in the finale if stuff goes wrong, basically made of paper. They barely have any accuracy, they will not be as bad as in the Doomsday heist, and it will just make your life a lot easier. Now having said this prep mission can be a little bit difficult, and my personal advice is that if you have a Hydra or a laser, or you can get your hands on one by going to Fort Zancudo, it is a really good idea to do so. Even something like a Buzzador and a Presser Mark II might be helping out, but you really want to be using something fast and something that can kill quick, because these targets are very much spread out. It is possible to do with 2 players, and my personal strategy is that I head up north back to Paleto and that sort of general area with my Hydra, while my friend Bunny stayed in Los Santos to clear out those targets. That way, with 2 players, you can quickly and effectively take everything out, and your heist finale enemies will be made out of glass. And last but most certainly not least is going to be the security passes, with a quick mention about the fact that they should be getting the level 2 pass for this and not the level 1. Because if you get the level 1 pass, you will not be able to open all the doors, making your life basically impossible in trying to do this stealthy. And to be extra clear, if you want to make sure that you're doing the level 2 security pass, make sure to look out for this image, as well as the confirmation screen telling you, hey, do you want to do a level 2 security pass mission? And obviously you want to do that because it will be better. With all the prep missions done, I want to go over the payouts for a little bit and kind of go over the percentages and why exactly we chose the things that we did. Primarily the hacker. Now the hacker is definitely the most important choice you're going to make within this heist. The hacker is essentially the time that you will get inside of the vault. Giving you some examples, Avi will be giving you 3 minutes and 30 seconds in order to grab everything that you can, while Paige, for example, will be giving you 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Compared to the 1 minute 45 seconds that you'll be giving to the wannabe hackerman Ricky, which will only be taking 3%. In case of a full take, the difference in cost between Avi and Ricky is a total of $184,000. Now you might be thinking this is quite a lot, however you're getting nearly 2 minutes more to take as much as you can, which is going to be a huge lifesaver, and in the end is going to net you a lot more profit than that $148,000 is worth. Now if you don't have Avi or you don't want to bother going for him, the difference in time between Avi and Paige is going to be about 15 seconds, and the difference in price is going to be $20,000. And you might think that 15 seconds, what I'm going to do in that? Well, actually, those 15 seconds are going to be very valuable, because in case you didn't know yet, there's 3 different options for you to grab when you're in the vault, which is going to be art, gold, and cash. Now these 3 all have different amount of time that you need in order to grab everything. For art, this is going to be 18 seconds, for gold this is going to be 25 seconds, and for cash that's going to be 38 seconds. Now these 15 seconds can be very vital while you're in the middle of trying to grab the last bit of cash or gold or art, and you're having to get out of there. Speaking of having to get out of there, what you want to keep an eye on is that the clock is hitting 30 seconds. You really want to grab the last few things and get out of the vault as fast as possible, because if you don't, your covering is going to get blown and everything is going to be a lot more difficult than it needs to be. So in my personal opinion, it is very much worth it to go and unlock Avi, as well as using him in the heist, because those 15 seconds can definitely be a lifesaver, and the $21,000 really isn't that big of an investment compared to Paige. So with all that in mind, it is time to start doing the finale. Now the finale itself isn't too bad if you're just following what I'm doing on screen. First of all, of course, you want to make your way to the casino, and from there it's just basically following what the game is telling you to do and just keeping a low profile. Once you're out of the elevator, you are able to just simply go ahead and sprint. The guards won't mind, they're just thinking you're in a hurry or whatever. Now once you're finally in the vault, what I personally like to do is have one person go for the hacking stuff while the other immediately starts grabbing the loot. When the hacker man or woman is done with cracking a keypad, then it's a good idea to start moving on to the next one. Keep in mind though that if you are playing with 2 players, you're not going to be able to grab everything, and you shouldn't either, because that is simply not even possible. And of course I know what you're thinking, I'm gonna start losing money on this, which is actually not true, because if I can take my own heist that you're seeing on your screen right now as an example, is that the full take would have been $1,935,750. For the ease of everything, I'm just going to start rounding everything up. Now we ended up taking a total of 1.7 million as 2 players, meaning that both of us would walk away with $878,000. Now if you were to be doing this with 3 players, sure, you would be able to grab everything. However, 2 players would be walking away with $677,000, and the other player would be walking walking away with $580,000. At 4 players, all 4 players would be walking away with $483,000. I think it doesn't take a genius to figure out what is going to be the best option here. Even when having a horrible run like I was having in my very first heist, I was still walking away with more money than I would if I were to be having played with more players. So this definitely means that even in the worst situation, it is still best to play with 2 players. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you the combinations that you can get while having to do the finger scan hack. Now in the case of the fingerprint scanner, every single time you're doing it, it's going to be in a different order. There's a total of 4 different fingerprints that you can do, and each of these 4 fingerprints all have 8 options for you to choose from. The pieces will always be the same, however they will always be in a different order. So in order to make your life easy, you can look on your screen and see which ones you have to grab. The second hacking option is the keypad cracker. Now this one is a little bit different because you just simply need to look out for the patterns that are showing up on your screen when you hear the following 3 beeps. These are the 3 beeps and the patterns that you need to look out for, and it simply repeats the same pattern 3 times, after which you have to repeat them. It's pretty simple and there seems to be a lot of different variations, so it really just comes down to paying attention to what pattern you get and just simply repeating that. It's not very difficult. So once you grabbed as much as you could, it's time to start making your way out. Now I want to make one thing abundantly clear here, that if you do fail within this following section, you are able to just simply let yourself be killed so you can restart the checkpoint. Personally, I was playing this on hard difficulty, and if you're curious, for what I could tell, it's about $200,000 more that you're getting for doing so, and it doesn't seem to be much more difficult than just regular normal difficulty, because again, you're reducing the amount of health with that dogged mission, as well as the fact that you're not even shooting anyone in this mission that we're doing right now. So it's time to head out for the vault and show you the route of what to do here. So when you're making your way out of the vault and you're walking past the guards and just pretending that nothing happened just now, you want to make your way to the stairs and not the elevator, because if you do go to the elevator, you will be spotted. So use your keycard on the stairway door and make your way all the way up. Once you're up there, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your mini-map, where you'll be seeing red dots with blue cones in front of them, and these blue cones will indicate their field of view, and if you step into that, you will get spotted. So what you want to do is you want to keep an eye on your mini-map and stay out of those blue cones. With that said, let's dive into the route that I'm going to be showing you. Because first of all, you're going to be seeing a guard that will be coming towards you, and you want to let him pass you to the right and then make him turn around to the left again, making sure that his back is turned on you. When that happens, you want to make your way through the first 2 doors and then wait until the guard on your left is going to pass you again until he's on your right. When he is, you want to head out to the door, walk up to him and give him a pat on the shoulder. From there, you want to make sure that the guard that is walking away from you doesn't turn around again. Just taking a quick peek behind this wall won't hurt you, and then make your way inside of the locker room where your news outfit will be ready for you. Then what you want to do is obviously wait for your partner to do the same thing and make sure that him or her will not get spotted. Maybe you could help out by saying, hey, watch out, or any of that sort of wonderful teamwork. When your teammate has the disguise, it's time to start making your way outside. Now because you got those level 2 keycards, you can also take a different exit, which means that you can exit through the staffed doors. Meaning that you can get away even quicker, and which is also the thing we want to be doing. Once you're out of the door, you have hit another checkpoint, which means that if you happen to mess up your stealth or you get shot or any of those things and you lose value, you can just let yourself be killed and you can start from this point on again with all the value that you had when you started at that checkpoint. What you want to do as you head out is head onto the horse track and stick to the right while making sure that the guy on your left is not going to spot you. Again, watch out for those blue cones. But to be honest, as long as you stick to the right, you'll be more than fine. Then of course you want to make your way to the getaway vehicle. Now at this point you have 2 different options. Either you can decide to go straight to the buyer, which always has a random location. In my case it was in Paleto Bay, and if it happens to be, allow me to show you a nice little route for that. But you can also decide to just take a different route to the sewers and lose the cops there. I will show both locations. If you happen to be doing the first one, what you really want to do is you want to stay off the road and go into the mountains as much as possible. Do be careful though that you don't go too much into the mountains where you reach the radio tower, because there is a guard there, and if he spots you, you will be busted and you will have 5 stars of wanted level to deal with. Not fun. What? But as long as you stay away from the radio tower as well as just regular roads, and it's pretty easy to avoid these cops. If you happen to have some trouble with this, there's also a different option if you happen to be going to the Paleto Bay area or just that area in general, because there's also a very nice train tunnel where the cops will not come after you as well. It's pretty easy to reach and it's basically a second sewer. Speaking of the sewer, by the way, we should also have a look at that route too. Now for this example, I'm using my own personal Sentinel Classic inside of free roam because it's purely just to show you what the route is going to be. The route starts the exact same way as you do the first option, however there's going to be a few slight differences. Again, you want to keep an eye on where the cops and the news agents are located, because even when you're inside of the car you will be able to get spotted. So keep an eye out for those blue cones as well as the cops. So basically what you're doing with this route is pretty simple. You're making your way around the horse track and then just jump down into the sewers. From there you just go into the sewers and go a little bit deeper so the cops won't be able to reach you. If done right and the cops haven't spotted you, you will be able to just sit here for a minute or two and the cops will have disappeared. Once you have gotten rid of the cops, you simply want to get out of the sewers again and take the hill up back to the highway, where you'll just be simply able to drive towards your buyer and just sell your stuff and finish the finale. And that's all there is to it. Leave a like if you enjoyed or found it useful, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.